Welcome back to More Ignorance in Basketball. Now, before we get into this Cavs game, we got to talk about a couple things as a cult. And no, it's not my Instagram this time. I want to thank you guys for showing so much love and being so supportive on the changes that are going to come to the channel. I was a little bit nervous to tell you guys, obviously this is a Suns channel. You never know how people are going to react to a pretty big change. And every single one of you was really supportive, and it seems like you guys are genuinely excited about the new content. So I just want to say, from one cult leader to a cult, I appreciate you. Number two, and trust me, I know that this is extremely random, but look, if I'm going to be a cult leader, when I find gold, I have to share it with the cult, basketball related or not basketball related. And trust me, this show, Invincible, is gold. It is a fucking 10. I will just look, all right? If you like anime at all, watch it. Trust me. If you like animation or art or anything like that, watch it. If you like things that are kind of fucked up, watch it. If you like superheroes and don't mind gore and shit, watch it. I'm telling you, this is the best American cartoon I've ever seen. I don't even want to call it a cartoon because I feel like cartoons are for kids. This show is definitely not for kids. That is all I will say about Invincible. Just trust me, watch the fucking show because America usually doesn't make animation like this. I feel like we have like Family Guy and like The Simpsons and all that goofy shit. They don't really make shows like this. If you like adult animation, usually you got to go to Japan and watch anime and stuff, which I do. But I'm telling you, we got to support shit like this when they make it because they did not miss with this show. So I'm just trying to do my due diligence and let you guys know because the show is amazing. And speaking of that, one of the favorite things I've done with this channel was actually, getting to know you guys a little bit more and asking about your favorite movies and stuff. I thought that was really fun. We were recommending other movies in the comments. We were talking about it. It was just a fun activity as a cult. So I want to do that again, but with music. I feel like music will tell me a lot more about you guys than a movie can because we got a pretty different demographic as far as ages and race and things like that. Obviously, I think we're pretty much all guys here. I think I've seen like, I don't know, only a handful of comments from any women on this channel. But I want to know what three musicians or genres or whatever you guys want to do. What Either give me genre or artist, your top three that you're listening to right now. I'm very, very curious. I'm gonna be posting like some stuff that I'm listening to just like on stories on the Instagram, but I want to know what kind of music you guys are listening to. I think that'll tell me a lot about a lot. I think that'll tell me a lot about this cult. But I think that is enough random shit. Let's get into the game. First off, let's just be honest. You guys know my brain is in playoff mode, so when I heard that the Suns were going to Cleveland, Ohio, with no Kyrie, no LeBron to play a basketball game, I gotta be honest, I wasn't the most excited young man in the world. I was not that excited, but I walked away from this game way more excited for the playoffs than I was expecting. Just because of that overtime alone. Like, let's be real, the Suns were in complete cruise control that entire game. It was how they typically play against shitty teams. Devin Booker takes over offensively, scores a bunch of points in the first quarter. A couple guys do their things with blocks and steals, but you can just tell as far as intensity goes, the team defensive intensity was just lackluster as fuck today. They were able to score because they have talent. As usual, some random guy you've never heard of has the fucking game of his life. This Okoro guy literally had the best game of his fucking career. And he was hitting tough shots. It's not like they were just leaving him open. They were in the beginning. But late, they couldn't really shut him down. He was just genuinely hitting tough shots. But that overtime, I have never seen a quote-unquote role player take over in overtime or damn near any quarter the way Bridges did. He took that, the fact that Okoro hit that game-winning or game-tying shot on him, he took that very personally and used his damn emotions that overtime. It was ridiculous. Guys, the fucking Cavs didn't get a shot off. Not make a shot. They didn't get a shot off for 3.5 minutes. Now that is a young team. That is why I don't say this Suns team is a young team, because that type of shit is what young players do. They don't end games well. But when you have Chris Paul and even a Devin Booker, that's not usually a problem like that. But the way Bridges took over was incredible. Listen, he had 2 steals, 2 blocks, an offensive rebound, an assist, a dunk, and 2 threes in 3.5 minutes. Not even the whole overtime. They didn't even have to play the whole overtime because he was that fucking good. I've never seen some shit like that. And all I could think about was I cannot wait for these fucking playoffs to start. Could you imagine if he was doing that in the playoffs? I think I would have fainted. I wouldn't have even been able to watch the rest of the game. It was incredible. That made up for the entire game because that game was kind of boring, not going to lie. I'm like, the whole game, I'm just like, who the fuck is this Okoro person? And can they please sit the fuck down, all right? I'm trying to keep my team rested for the playoffs. They're the only team that's healthy. I'd like to keep it that way. But this fucking Okoro person just kept balling, and it was making me mad. But he got shown the difference in skill. As long as he knows, I feel good about it. He knows right now we are nowhere near as good as the Suns team. And they showed you in 3.5 minutes the difference between having a good game and being a good team. And that was muy bien. Also, I'm looking at this Lakers team and I'm like, damn, are you guys even going to make the fucking playoffs? I'm sorry, Lakers fans, but it is not looking great for you. I looked at their schedule. Look at it. They got to play the Clippers tomorrow, then the Trailblazers, then the Suns, then the Knicks. That could easily be 4 losses in a row. Easily. They're only 1 game above the 7th seed right now. Then they play the Rockets, who, I mean, hopefully they beat the Rockets, but they could lose that game. I wouldn't be totally shocked. The Pacers, I say that's 50-50. And the Pelicans, I say that's 50-50. Depending on, like, where they're at, who knows. By the end of that fucking time, they might just rest their whole fucking team. Who knows? But I don't know, guys. This shit is crazy. Like, especially with the play-in. I know it's weird that everybody's bitching about the play-in now, but they had no problem with it when it didn't affect them last time. Okay. That's so fucking obnoxious. Like, just either you're for it or you're not, okay? Make a stance. Don't only make a stance when it affects you. That's so weak and annoying, but I can't say I'm surprised. But I think the plan is great for the league. I don't know about you guys. I think it's great for a couple reasons. One, it gets rid of tanking, which I think we can all agree is muy bien. Number 2, it just adds another narrative. It makes things more interesting. Number 3, it makes this season shorter. Now, I'm all for this. I don't think we should have, like, 82 games and a playing game. I think that's ridiculous. But if we take 10 games off the season and just have this playing game, I think that's better. Because we only have, 6-7 games left of the regular season, and I'm dying watching every single one of these. I couldn't imagine adding another 10. I'm ready for the playoffs now. And I know I'm ready. So I know for the guys who watch this channel, who've been Suns fans for like 20 years and have just seen them miss the playoffs for over a decade, I know you guys can't fucking wait. So when LeBron and fucking Mark Cuban want to bitch about the playing game, I personally don't give a shit, and I think they're full of shit. Because if they were a top 5 seed, top 6 seed, or, well, I guess the Lakers are top 6 for now, but it looks like they're going to fall. If they knew that they wouldn't be affected by it, they would not be bitching. And honestly, as a Suns fan, I think I kind of have a right to be kind of wary about this playing game, because the way things, it's possible that the Suns could play have to play the Lakers in the first round, which would suck. But I was thinking about it, right? Now, if I'm the Suns, I should have the mindset that I can beat anybody in a 7 game series. But if I have to play the Lakers, like if I'm the Suns and I know for 100% I have to beat this team to make it to the finals, I would want to play them as early as possible because I think their chemistry could be a little bit off. LeBron's been missing games. When he came back, he wasn't at 100%. If this team is like weak at all, I would want to attack them now because I think they're only going to get better over time. I think people will get healthier. I think AD will get more comfortable. LeBron will get more comfortable. So I would want to attack them while things are still a little bit fucked up and try to beat them right now is rather than wait for them to get comfortable and wait for them to get, clicking on all cylinders and all that type of shit. And you're still going to have home court. So I don't know. That's how I look at it, but it is what it is. Personally, I would love, and I do mean love, for the Lakers to stay in the 6th seed, and they'd either have to play the Nuggets or the Clippers in the first round, because those are the 3 teams I would say are going to be the toughest, the Lakers, the Nuggets, and the Clippers for the Suns. So if you could knock one of those teams off, that's muy bien. So we'll see. I just think those teams are just big, and the Suns team is still small. I do think that playing Kaminsky and Sarge helps a lot, and it really does help a lot. I've been looking at that lineup. I've been paying very close attention to it, and it's been great. It's been really great. They're not getting out-rebounded anymore, like I said. One can kind of focus on boxing out the other big, and the other, and I mean like either Sarge or Kaminsky, can focus on gathering the rebound. They've both been hitting their shots better. They've both been scoring better inside and outside, so I don't know what it is. Maybe those two are fucking made for each other, but I think that's a lineup we definitely need to continue to see in the playoffs, especially. If you're going to have one out, you got to have the other. I don't even remember what the fuck I was talking about. Let's just get into how the game stats, because as I always say, I have yet to look at that shit. So, okay, this is pretty good. It's really good, actually. So, Suns ended up shooting 52% from the field, which is great. 39% from 3, which is really good. 92% from free throw, which again is muy bien. They only they out-rebounded them by 6, which is great. I think that Kaminsky Sarge lineup is going to help with rebounding a lot. They had 35 assists, which isn't that surprising. It is an overtime game. They had 11 blocks, 9 steals. 11 blocks, 10 steals, which is great. And only 7 turnovers. That's crazy. I'm telling you, they've been really able to keep the turnovers low, which is going to be huge in the playoffs. It's going to be huge. Let's see how the Cavs shot. So they kept this Cavs shooting only 46% from the field. They shot 45% from 3, though, which is really damn good. 85% from the free throw line. Like I said, they got out-rebounded. They had 30 assists. They only had 3 blocks and 3 steals. And they had 17 turnovers, which is some young team shit. That's another reason why it's annoying that they keep wanting to call this Suns team young, because the Cavs are a young team. That is a young team. They turn the ball over a lot. They don't end games well. Their late game execution is not good. They have poor shot selection. That's the type of shit a young team does. But this team, even though, again, it has young players, they don't have young team qualities. How many times have we seen players foul out? Not often. I can think of maybe 1 or 2 games with Ayton, and I think that's it. 1 game with Booker. Let's see how everybody shot individually, because it's important. Javon Carter, 13 minutes. He only took 1 shot, and he made that bitch. It was a 3. Cameron Payne, 17 minutes, 3 of 5 from the field, 6 points, 5 assists, 2 boards. He didn't have a great game, but again, as long as he's being aggressive, and it was his first game back from a little bit of an injury, so, I'm not going to judge it too hard. Torrey Craig, he's been getting minutes, and he's been taking a decent amount of shots, too. 4 of 10 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3, finished with 9 points and 5 boards. Mikal Bridges did play 40 minutes, which I don't love, but he had the overtime of the season, okay? 9 of 15 from the field, 4 of 6 from 3, 22 points, 4 assists, and 5 rebounds. Dario Saric, he's been looking a lot better since he's came back. He only played 12 minutes, though. He was 2 of 3 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3s, finished with 7 points and 5 boards. Not bad at all. Ayton, he had a bit of a bounce back game, 7 to 10 from the field, 15 points, 1 assist. He only had 10 rebounds though, or 8 rebounds though. But again, his rebounding is definitely not something I'm worried about. If there's one thing that we know he can do, it's fucking rebounding. So, Booker had a good game, 40 minutes again. It's kind of high, but it's an overtime game, so what can you do? 14 of 27 from the field, it's really good. He's been really consistent with shooting like 50%. And again, he's not shooting the 3 well, but he's not somebody I'm worried about. 31 points, 5 assists, 6 boards. Like, even if he shot like that in a playoff game, I would take that as a win, even though he was 1 of 6 from 3. Because he was 50% from the field in all, so not mad at that at all. Kaminsky, 16 minutes, 5 of 9 from the field. He didn't make any threes, but he had 11 points, 1 assist, and 6 boards. That's what I'm saying. It's like Kaminsky and Sarge seem to be playing at the same time for the most part, right? And they're both getting about like 5, 6, 7 rebounds each. So I'm telling you, that doubles the rebounding for those minutes played. Cameron Johnson didn't have a great game. Finished 2 of 9, 1 of 6 from 3. But that dunk was incredible. Again, it's like, we know you're so athletic, but he just doesn't use it enough. But he will. He's young and he'll get it together. But he finished with 7 points, 2 assists, 5 boards. And last but not least, we have Chris Paul, 36 minutes. Again, 50% from the field, 8 of 16, 2 of 3 from 3, 23 points, 16 assists. Damn. And 6 rebounds. Now, overall, I would say this wasn't a great game for the Suns. They're in playoff mode. They were in cruise control. They don't give a shit about this Cavs team. But at least if this was earlier in the season, this would have 100% been a loss. But because this team has been clicking, they're clearly getting better throughout the season. This was a win. They turned into a win. And not only a win, a fucking emphatic win. If you can outscore a team in overtime 20-4, I have 2 words. Muy bien. I don't know what else to say. I've never seen that before. It's like they were so mad at themselves because they knew it shouldn't have got this far. And they just showed the real skill gap. So, I mean, I'll say it again. I'll say it again. Bridges was incredible. When you have 2 steals, 2 blocks, 2 threes, an offensive rebound, an assist, and a dunk in 3.5 minutes, like, I don't know what else to say. He completely dominated that overtime. So, Bridges, shout out to you. Booker, you had a good game. Chris Paul, you had a good game. Everybody else was like okay or bad. The defensive intensity was not there. We got another game against the Hawks in a couple hours, so I'll see you guys after that. 2 uploads in 1 day. Who am I? A real YouTuber? Who knows? I appreciate you guys for watching the videos, and I'll see you guys after the Hawks game. Peace.